we can be off. Okay, gentlemen, welcome. Sorry about the delay today. I know there's a game already kicked off, and I think it's 0-0.
Yeah.
It is. I've got it on the TV now.
Okay, cool. I think Sean said on the Facebook group that it was going to be 1-1.
I think I'm going to change my mind. Brighton are all over Burnley in the first half. Even Welbeck. Welbeck is playing well. The only thing he's missed is a goal.
Oh, well, that's classic Danny Welbeck for you.
Standard Brighton, isn't it, really? All over a team that can't really finish.
Can't score, yeah.
Yeah, great between both boxes. Okay, so let's... I don't know. I said that Brighton might win 2-1 without knowing what's going on. So we can skip that one anyway. But if you guys want to give it a crack, seeing as it's 0-0, we can do that too.
I think Burnley are going to nick it. It's going to be typical. Dominate but concede.
That's it, though. It's sod's law. Brighton all over them. I think Burnley will nick it. Chris Wood, 1-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
1-0 for both of you. I've gone Brave and I've gone 2-1. I'm expecting to see 3 whole goals this half. Okay, and then later on this evening, we also got the Battle of the Striped Shirts in Southampton versus Newcastle. That's at 8 o'clock at St. Mary's. I don't think home advantage really makes much difference these days, frankly.
No, not with the crowd.
Yeah. So what do you fellas think? Southampton in really good form at the moment. They look like a bit of a dark horse for a European place, perhaps. And Newcastle, I'm not quite sure what to make of them, really. They're getting results, but they're not playing well.
I say Southampton 2-1.
Okay.
I've got a bit braver. I think it's going to be a mad one because Southampton score, but they concede. And they concede a lot. I'm going to go for a 3-3 draw.
Oh, okay. No Danny Ings for Southampton, though, apparently. He's out for a few weeks.
Ooh, okay. That might change things. I'm still saying 2-1 Southampton.
Okay.
It's about time he had a day off, isn't it? He's done a full season. That's it. He's done.
Yeah. I'm going to go with 2-0 Southampton. I don't think Newcastle are going to score. So let's see. And then, and this one I want to start with Chirag, the Manchester United fan, tomorrow at lunchtime kickoff. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer under pressure, let's face it. He had a timid game against Arsenal, which we won. Yay, we actually won at top 6. And then
are we top 6 though, really?
Traditional top 6, yeah. and then the defensive fiasco that my son's team would have been proud of in Turkey.
Yeah, in the Champions League, that was embarrassing. I was at work, but I saw the highlights and I literally was screaming at the TV at like 11 o'clock at night. I was thinking, what the heck? I was reading the group chats while I was at work. I'm thinking, what have I actually missed? And I saw it, and I would have gone absolutely nuts. I really have no idea what the result's going to be. I don't know how the game's going to go. As a United fan right now, it's almost like trying to predict when the next lockdown's going to be. It's kind of like it's like what is the government going to do next? It's kind of like what are United going to do next? It's almost as bad as that at the moment.
Do you think a bad result against Everton will mean Ollie is gone?
Yeah, I think Solskjaer probably has about 2 games, 3 games max to turn it around, because obviously then they'll be looking at the next transfer window, and Poch has already turned and said now that he's looking to get back into work.
He's appeared on TV as well suddenly.
Yeah, so he's now standing out work, isn't he? He's trying to right, is it going to be Real Madrid job, United job, City job? What's going to come up first? And what he was doing at Tottenham, he was building a side, so that's what we need right now. Solskjaer's gone as far as he can, I think. I'm not an advocate of saying a manager should be sacked, but...
Do you think Solskjaer's been backed, though, correctly?
No, I think he's been told, right, you're...
I think Woodward's the problem, and he's been the problem for a very long time.
I've been saying this for years. I've been saying Woodward is the biggest obstacle any manager has at United. because he's not a football man. He doesn't understand the game. All he understands is a business. So I keep saying what they need to do is let him deal with the commercial side of it and bring a director of football in, which was rumored about a year ago. And honestly, we've got two people that are pundits, which would be perfect for that role anyway. One is Rio Ferdinand. Secondly is Patrice Evra. They have love for the club. When you see Rio Ferdinand's reaction on
I would struggle to think Rio Ferdinand gets taken seriously by anybody apart from his family, frankly.
No, no fact.
Van der Sar is probably the most legitimate option.
Logical choice, yeah.
I mean, if I'm being honest, and I'll say that as a Spurs fan, I think Woodward won't allow anybody to take control of the footballing side of things, especially a manager, until he gets the manager that he trusts. And I don't think he trusts Oli. I don't think he's trusted anyone before that. I don't think he trusted Mourinho. But if you look at the flip side at Spurs, right? Levy didn't trust Pochettino to make his own decisions with the players.
Yeah.
Wouldn't give him the money. Jose Mourinho's come in. He said, I want this player, this player, this player, this player, this player. It's the manager Levy's wanted for 10 years.
Yeah.
Easily. And he's given him everything he's wanted.
Well, we'll get on to Scotland soon. But just on the Manchester United point, I think I have a slight suspicion that I don't think Pochettino would agree to take over in these current circumstances because there's just so much chaos. If he's going to take over, he might say in the summer, fresh start, no pressure, no expectation, clear out a few players, and then I'll come in. But moving on to tomorrow's game, Everton at Goodison Park, 12:30. Give me a prediction, Chirag.
They've hit a brick wall recently. If we can score, I'm going to say 2-2. If we don't score, 2-0.
Well, give me one. I can't accept both because I'm making notes of them now. You can't hit your bets.
2-2.
2-2. Okay.
Yeah.
And Sean?
For me, 1-1. I think Man United will get a penalty in the 86th minute, and Calvert-Lewin will equalise in the 90th.
Okay, well, I'm going to be a little bit braver, and I think that Manchester United are going to win. It's just one of those things where you think, and Solskjaer's done this since he's been in charge, really, since he got this job permanently, where it's like, okay, he's definitely going to go next game, and suddenly he pulls, he or the squad or a combination of luck and whatever else pulls it out. So I think Everton are looking a bit not as good as everybody was thinking they are. I think they might win 3-1 here.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You're more confident than I am.
Yeah, it's just the kind of the inconsistency that's probably why I'm saying that, because that's all I have to go on.
When you think about it, the Premier League has been very inconsistent this season so far anyway. No one's really sort of,
apart from Liverpool, let's be honest. Apart from that anomaly at Villa, they've done well. And then we've got Palace against Leeds in the afternoon. It's almost like a clash of two footballing ideologies. Roy Hodgson is happy to stay, 11 men behind the ball, even at home, doesn't care, wants a result. And Bielsa is this, well, nobody can frankly work him out. And he's got players like Bamford playing well. He's got some really good attacking players in there as well. So
he's done very well at Leeds. I'm quite quietly impressed. I know I shouldn't say that as a United fan, but I can't see anything but a Leeds win. 3-1.
Okay. And what about Sean? What is?
I have exactly the same sentiment as Chirac there. I mean, I keep on looking up at the game every 2 minutes, just to see if my prediction comes true. But 3-1 Leeds.
Okay.
I said exactly the same. I think exactly the same thing. Palace are just happy to tread water, stay up, nick the points where they can nick the points. Whereas Leeds, I think Leeds are the only team what's come up that can probably stay up.
Yeah.
And by a country mile.
Yeah.
Oh, massively, yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably going to say I don't even think Palace will score. I think Leeds will win 2-0. I just think that they've just got that press that they will just suffocate you. And Palace, if they can get one long ball over the top for Zaha or someone like that. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to happen. And then in the afternoon, the 5:30 kickoff, the tea time kickoff, as they call it, we've got Chelsea versus Sheffield United. Sheffield United yet to pick up a point, as far as I know. I may be wrong. And Chelsea, who have found a defensive spine, which hopefully will improve things for Lampard. Obviously, I don't want that to happen, but yeah, they're at home at Stamford Bridge against Sheffield United, who I think they might be in trouble. And I said at the beginning of the season that that's not going to be the case. I thought they would survive, but they just don't look like they're going to score goals.
This could be potentially 4 or 5 for Chelsea tomorrow. They've suddenly found their form going forward as well.
4-0
Chelsea.
Okay,
Chirag saying 4-0 Chelsea. And what about Sean?
Well, this is it. Chelsea have started to find their stride, haven't they? Goals coming from everywhere. Werner scoring. They're not relying on Jorginho penalties anymore. Abraham, Sheffield United 1 point so far this season.
Okay.
Star signing Ryan Brewster. Really? You want to stay up there? 3-4-0. 3 or 4-0.
Give me one of them. 3 or 4. You can't have both.
I mean, Chelsea are good, but they're not that good. 3.
Okay, great. I think the Sheffield United won't open up too much because I think they know the devastation that Chelsea's forwards can cause. So I think it might just be 2-0. Sorry, my son is outside calling me. And then moving on to the evening kickoff, West Ham versus Fulham.
West Ham are a bit of an anomaly at the moment. They've been playing well recently. No idea.
No idea?
2-0 West Ham?
2-0 West Ham against Fulham.
Yeah.
Fulham, yeah. Okay. 2-0 West Ham. Yeah, I mean, West Ham have basically, since David Moyes had to manage remotely, have been a completely different side. So maybe there's something there. But in terms of, I don't know, it's a London derby. Fulham looked slightly better over the last couple of games. It's tough. I might go 1-1 here, just because nobody's predicted. Well, actually, Sean's predicted a draw, but I'm going to predict 1-1 here. I think Fulham might just eke something out by the skin of their teeth.
I can't see it happening. I think West Ham are in the best form that they've been in since maybe Joe Cole. They're in the best form that they've ever been in that record-setting season where they got the most points ever and still got relegated. That's how good their form is. And that's when they had Joe Cole, Lampard, Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Straight up, I think Fulham will lose 3-1.
Okay.
They look better, and maybe that's because Tony Khan's focusing more on his wrestling ambitions in AEW, and not tweeting about how the fourth choice players are playing and whatnot. But no.
Yeah, that must be a great confidence boost if your boss's boss is saying you're shit. And then the first game on Sunday, we've got the lunchtime kickoff between a West Brom side that is just all over the place, and a Spurs side that I would say got a possibly deserved win against was it Brighton?
Burnley.
I thought you played Brighton last week, didn't you? You beat them.
Our last game was Burnley. 1-0.
No, I'm pretty sure you got.
We played Monday.
Oh, did you play on Monday as well?
We played Monday and then Thursday.
I thought it was Tottenham versus Brighton on Sunday.
No, Son header against Burnley.
Okay, maybe I've got that wrong. But didn't you guys get the Kane penalty? That was a bit of a dodgy one, and then Lamptey got the goal. They should have probably been stopped.
Yeah, that was the Brighton game. That was the week before.
Oh, was that? Okay. I'm looking at the Premier League website, so I apologise. All right, anyway, West Brom versus Spurs. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, it pains me to say this, but Spurs are going to wipe the floor with them, frankly. Or should at least, based on current form and quality of teams. So I'm going to say 3. I'm going to say 4-0. Yeah, I think Harry Kane, who I've just put in my fantasy football team, better bloody do something because I am struggling for points.
I keep forgetting about the bloody fantasy thing. I keep forgetting
Yeah.
every week to do it. Like literally every Friday night, I'm like, oh crap, too late.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Give me a prediction then, Chirag.
3-0 Spurs.
Okay. And Sean?
I mean, I'm going to be a little less optimistic.
It's funny how the fans of the clubs that they support are trying to hedge their bets.
No, and I think we'll win. I think we'll win. I think it'll be a little bit closer because we're not trying. We started off spanking teams at the beginning of the season, except from Everton, and then we tried it, and then we lost another game against Royal Antwerp, and that was the setting for, okay, let's go back to basics. Let's score the first goal, and then let's defend. And if we break, we break.
Yeah.
And that's what we did yesterday. If you look, we got the first goal, we got the second goal, and then we took our foot off the gas. Control the game. You're in front. I think 2-0.
Okay. 2-0 to Spurs, I'm guessing.
2-0 to Spurs, yeah. I don't think West Bromwich Albion are going to win 2-0. Touch wood.
Okay.
And if they do, I'll never hear the end of it on fucking...
Oh, no, absolutely not. If you miss the West Brom, be prepared. One other thing I was going to say is the Dele Alli situation. Still obviously unresolved. Jose likes to do this at every club. I mean, I think we've discussed it in the past, but he picks on someone and then that person is the problem that the team has had. You know, he did it with Mata, he did it with poor old Luke Shaw, who's probably never recovered really. And now Dele Alli.
Luke Shaw never recovered from the leg break.
Yeah.
True.
Good point.
It's unfortunate,
yeah. Dele Alli. Dele Alli is... There's no two ways about it. He's a good player. He could be a great player. I think there's no smoke without fire, right?
Yeah.
If Jose says he's lazy, it's probably true. I mean, if you look at it, he's what he peaked at what 20. 21. And that's the problem. You give these young players the money, you give them the stardom, and they think they're the must nuts. Yeah. I mean, look at Greenwood. Greenwood gets into the England squad, and the first thing he does is break all the rules. All the rules. I mean, I don't blame him for breaking the rules. I've seen the pictures. I don't blame him, right? But at the same time, if you're not disciplined and you're not putting in the work, why should you start?
Yeah.
And that's it. I've been reading a lot that we're looking to possibly use him as a make weight in a deal back for Eriksen.
Oh, really?
A little bit. I don't think it will happen. I think we could get Eriksen back. I think he's seen that the grass isn't always greener. But it all depends on what PSG decide to do in January. If they decide that they want Eriksen or possibly come back in for Ali.
Yeah.
I think he needs to leave. I think he needs to play. I don't think he needs to leave on a permanent deal, but a loan probably would do him a world of good. We'll see what happens, right? I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame because he is a good player. But is he really going to get in the team at the moment in front of Kane, in front of Bale?
No.
Is he even going to get in front of Lamela at the moment?
The thing that confuses me slightly about the Dele Alli situation is when Jose came in, and I don't want to kind of dwell on this because we've got a few more games to predict. When Jose came in, Ali was pretty good for the first 5-6 games, and then he just fell off a cliff. So,
well, this is it. I mean, it's all about player reaction. If you look at Dele, he's picked on him, but he hasn't done anything to change the manager's opinion. Ndombele last season, he picked on him something chronic.
Yeah.
Hooked him at half-time against Burnley. And he's come back, and I'll say, with the exception of Kane and Son, Ndombele's been our third best player.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I just want to move on, guys. I don't mean to kind of rush through this or stop your thoughts, but we've got the other game, which is Leicester versus Wolves. This on paper looks a great game. Two pretty good teams who are on form. Leicester obviously beat us recently, us being Arsenal. They won in Greece. They're looking, pretty good for kind of a European place, top 7, top 6 finish. So and Wolves equally, they've lost a little bit going forward, I think, Wolves, and they've got a lot of turnover of players. But yeah, they're playing at the King Power Stadium at 2:30. So what do we think?
2-2.
Okay.
The high scoring game, I think.
Okay. Sean?
I think Leicester have fought very, very well, ridiculously well. I think Wolves made a massive mistake selling Diogo.
Yeah.
But I think Leicester, although they had European football midweek, I think they'll edge it 2-1.
Okay. So Leicester to beat Wolves for sure. Yeah, I think Leicester might win this probably 2-0. I don't see Wolves causing them as many problems, and you're right about Leicester's transfer strategy. Cengiz in there already looks a brilliant player.
Timothy Castagne.
Yeah, Fofana as centre back, and apparently compared to we Arsenal fans are kind of a little annoyed because Saliba was supposed to be better than Fofana, and we haven't even seen him yet. So it's frustrating, but yeah, I mean Leicester have really, really, and Jamie Vardy keeps scoring.
You're frustrated. Castagna, the whole summer, I want to go to Spurs. I want to go to Spurs. I want to go to Spurs. We signed Doherty, and Leicester signed the right back we should have signed in the fucking first place.
And then Doherty's not getting in the team at the moment ahead of Aurier, isn't he?
They're swapping.
Okay. And then the big one, which is Manchester City against Liverpool. Manchester City, I don't know genuinely what to make of. It's like, I think this might be Pep's last season.
Definitely, yeah.
And
I think
if he doesn't get either the Premier League or the Champions League, I think he will be gone, frankly. Whether he likes it or not, but their centre backs look pretty good now. They've got a solid defence. Yes, no Aguero, but those Sterling and De Bruyne and Ferran Torres playing up front, and then obviously Liverpool, who I don't think Firmino is going to get back in the team. So I'm going to go to Chirag first for this because I know that he's a big, I wouldn't say admirer of the Liverpool front three, but begrudgingly appreciates them. It's tough to call this one. I genuinely don't know. I think it's tough, but go on, Chirag.
I think if Liverpool turn up, they should win it comfortably because they are the team on form, as you said earlier. Apart from the Villa game, which was just odd.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it 2-1 Liverpool.
Okay, interesting. And is it just because of that pace and that power and that? Yeah.
I think just purely just purely their attacking play. I think you should get them through it.
Okay, sure.
Like you said, it's a tough one, right? I mean, I think City are great in defence. They've got good defence. They've got good midfield. They're lacking up front. I mean, Sergio Aguero and Gabriel Jesus. Are they really Premiership winning strikers anymore? Sergio Aguero is missing half the time, and Jesus, when he does play, he's nothing special.
No,
it's not the same threat anymore.
City needed to sign a striker in the summer. They needed a new number 9. I see it the same way. I think if the right Liverpool turn up and he drops Firmino and he gives Jota a proper chance, I think Liverpool are comfortably winning this 2-0.
Okay.
Do you know who I can see City going after for a striker? Down at your lot, Kane. I can see that being a tussle in the summer.
There's one thing I want to talk to you about because I had that conversation with I can't remember who it was on the group about Harry Kane and the situation there. I'm going to say that Liverpool and Manchester City is going to be a 2-2 draw. I just think that Liverpool with no Van Dijk, which is that's I'm not going to beat that dead horse anymore, but there's still issues in defence. But we can move on to sort of the Kane, where what will happen with him, and I know Sean will appreciate that. And then the final game for the weekend actually is Arsenal versus Aston Villa. Villa, who look like they're back to the Villa that we thought they would be. And Arsenal slowly but steadily, although we can't score many goals, we've got the best defensive record in the league, which is great for once. We don't have to stress about that, but we're missing a lot of creativity still. So what do you fellas think? I'm going to start with Sean this time. Sorry, Chirag, to interrupt you.
I think Villa started. They bought very well in the summer. There's no two ways about it. And they are scoring goals, but they're conceding too many. Arsenal, on the other hand, aren't scoring too many goals, but they do score goals against lesser opposition. So I'm going to go 3-2 Arsenal. Okay.
Well, that's ruined me because I've got I just put Leno in as my goalkeeper. So thanks. What about you, Chirag?
2-1 Arsenal.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go with 2-1 Arsenal as well because I just don't think that we.
1-1, but yeah.
Yeah, we don't have enough to sort of bombard teams at the moment. Arteta's all about the structure at the moment. He doesn't want to, give them too much rope to hang themselves with.
He has a right place and he's sticking with it.
I tell you what, I have been admiring the last couple of weeks is El Neni.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
How he's come back into this team. He was exiled for 2 years nearly.
Yeah, it's like somebody's given him a brain transplant and said to him, right, you are going to be a better footballer. And
someone give it to Pogba, please.
I don't think the problem was his ability. I think with Arsenal they tried to go with flair players. Yeah. And you need that in the number 6. If you look at Spurs, they didn't have any metal in midfield last season.
Yeah.
You bring in Højbjerg, you've got metal. Chelsea, Kante.
Yeah.
Manchester United, Matic. How he's not starting week in, week out.
Yeah. I think with Matic it's a little bit with age as well, right? I would say he's not.
But we've got McTominay who's playing quite well. I'm saying he will become a very good player, but he needs support around him. He can't do it on his own.
Yeah. Okay, so those are the results, or rather the fixtures. And by the way, it's still Brighton 0, Burnley 0, according to this, and it's 71 minutes played.
It is, and Brighton are still absolutely bombarding.
Oh, so yes, it's nailed on for Burnley to bloody pinch it, isn't it? And you both gone 1-0. So one thing I want to ask, and this is actually, in fact, the person who I was speaking about this was a friend of mine who's in the US, and he's a Spurs fan. And the Harry Kane situation, because yes, he's a very good player. We all acknowledge that. No matter what no matter the banter that people give him, he is a very, very good goal scorer. If you're in Daniel Levy's shoes and Manchester City come at you with £200 million in the summer, which is what I think his market value is, England captain, 26, 27, all that. I think in this
200 career goals at the age of 27.
Yeah, pinch of salt a little bit with that because he scored against some
Lithuania and
yeah. But in terms of there's a stadium to pay for. I'm sure Jose will want to transfer Kitty in the summer as well. If they give you £200 million and you're Harry Kane as well, and you're thinking, well, realistically, where am I going to win trophies? More realistically, at Manchester City or at Spurs? Where do you guys think that will go? And Sean, you can talk from the heart as well as the head.
Yeah, I mean, from my heart, I've always thought that Kane has been very, very clear about what he wants, and he said from the start, if there's progress, I'll stay. If I feel that we're stagnating, then maybe it's time to go.
Okay.
He's never said he wants to leave, but he said if the time was right, then he probably would. Every player would. He said if Manchester City came along with £200 million next summer, I think Levy would bite their hands off. And the only reason why I think Levy would bite their hands off is because £200 million in this financial climate is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had you said to me, I think a more realistic offer with how it is at the moment is going to be about 100, 150 million. I don't think Levy's going to take it.
Can City actually afford
That's
that money though? In the current financial
this
fair
is-
play,
I'm
I think there's only 2 or 3 clubs in the world that can afford that.
Can check down the back of his sofa and find the 150 he'll need.
I mean, I'm not being funny. If it's only going to cost them £18 million in fines 2 years later on, then they probably could do it.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, true.
I think if Spurs win something, and this is a big if, right? If they win something, even if it's just the League Cup, right, which we've got a very good chance of winning. We've got Stoke in the quarterfinals, and then it's 2 games to the final.
Yeah.
And the teams that are left in it aren't massive, right? Let's be honest. They're teams that Spurs could easily beat.
And it's a cup competition, so it's a knockout. One mistake. Yeah.
That's it. But that's the thing. I mean, if we win something, I think if he sees progress, if we get back into the Champions League, that's progress. And he'd stay. I mean, in his head, smart thing to do would be to leave to this bigger club. I don't think if he's going to leave to another team in England.
Okay.
I think if he's going to go anywhere, I mean, if you look at, but this is the thing, Barcelona, they can't afford it. No chance.
You don't think that the whole point of Bale on loan is Real Madrid have had a little word in his ear say, tell Harry that he's got a number 9 shirt free over here?
Well, this is the problem, right? Real Madrid don't have the money either anymore. The new king is not a fan of Real Madrid. He's an Atletico fan.
Right.
So they're not getting the same concessions and stuff like that. It's tough. I mean, Kane is quite possibly, with the exception of Lewandowski, the best striker on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
number
9. Yeah, the best number 9 on the planet.
Yeah. Smart thing to do would be to leave. If you want to go win things on a consistent basis, leave. But he's England captain, he's Tottenham captain, he's Mr. Tottenham.
Yeah, even though he was an Arsenal fan in his youth.
Yeah. he's Mr. Tottenham. That's it.
What about you, Chirag? What are your thoughts? We've just got a couple more minutes left, guys.
He's in a unique position that if Mourinho keeps going forward the way he is, he could spearhead Tottenham, I wouldn't say back, but Tottenham into competing into Champions League positions, disrupting title ambitions of everyone else, and European Cup competitions. And then who knows in 3 or 4 years what investment they make, and possibly league ambitions. Everyone's going to laugh that I've said that, but
don't worry, this is why I'm getting to the end.
If you're moving in the right direction, which they have been doing since Pochettino, as much as we all slag Tottenham off and stuff like that, they've been doing it bit by bit by bit. They've literally almost done it in a similar way to how Liverpool have done it as well. And it's a similar sort of model. So as a football fan, just purely thinking like that, they're heading in that same direction.
Don't say that to me. I wanted you to put a downer on after Sean,
No, I'm quite honest as a football fan. They're following the right steps. They're not as much as we take the piss out of them. But they are heading
it the right way.
Yeah.
We're doing it the right way.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is quite interesting because a lot of Spurs fans always blame Daniel Levy, but he's the one that's actually seems to be in control and understanding what's going on. So, yeah.
I see it this way. Kane's going to see out his contract and move to Juventus on a free when he's 33. Like everybody else.
Carlsberg don't do football predictions, but if they did. Brilliant. All right, fellas, I think we can leave it there. Thank you very much for your time. It was good chatting with you both again. We'll obviously try and do this again every week where we can. And I will post it on the group. Cheers.
Well,
always a pleasure.
I'm free for the next 4 weeks because of furlough, so yeah.
All right, fellas. Well, brilliant. Pleasure, and have a good evening and enjoy the football. Cheers.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye.